Hey everybody, Eric Dorward here with the Spartan Rocketry Club, continuing our build of the Estes SpaceShipOne model. So in the intervening time, not much has happened really. The only thing that's really transpired is I've allowed these fins to dry, and hopefully this will be a pretty quick video because all we really need to do to finish construction here is attach them, basically. There is one other minor thing that I'm going to do first, and that is fish the launch lug out of this bag. And I'm actually going to attach that before I worry about the fins. Launch lug, is usually a pretty simple process. There we go. In this case, the launch lug is going to be mounted on the underside. It probably doesn't really matter which fin it goes on, but the instructions have it going on the right side as it's upside down, so I guess technically it's the left side, right? But whatever, it probably doesn't matter, and it's just going to go in the seam right here. Now I've already put fillets in there, which is probably a good thing because it's going to lie just like this, and that should work just fine. So I'm going to put some glue on the outside of this. Like so. I am going to take the time to spread this around a little bit because this is a pretty narrow spot that this is going into. I would like to have a bit more coverage of glue than I might ordinarily. Alright, so this is going to go right aligned with the front of the fin as best we can. It's actually going to stick out a little bit. Probably should have been trimmed a little bit. You can see it goes a little bit past the end of the tube and into the plastic section, and that should make no appreciable difference, but there we go. There are going to need to be some extra fillets applied here at some point, and I might as well do it now. I'm going to put a fillet in here. And down here. My nozzle's getting a little clogged again because I'm not getting a lot of flow here. That's okay. I'm going to use my smallest finger to spread this out. I think same deal here. This might actually require some more glue because there's actually not much in there, and there are a lot of gaps. I don't like gaps. Try to just squeeze some glue in here wherever there's a particularly obvious hole. And that's going to need, there we go. There's another little spot I can see. That should be good enough. Now, given how many holes there were when I spread that initially, this might not dry particularly cleanly, so I may need to go over that again. But in the meantime, I can flip this over without any consequences. It's not going to fall out. There's a lot of glue holding it in. I am going to, well, I guess I can put this back in the cradle. I might as well. Not that I really need it held up, but I do want it off the ground. And if the cradle is good at one thing, it is holding this off the ground. By the way, oh, well, I can't do that anymore because that's where the launch lug is. Oh well. I have been using it like this, and that's been pretty good too, so we'll go with that approach. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, when I did eventually remove this from the cradle, it was glued in place, but it was in such a small spot, it was very easy to dislodge. Alright, now, the last thing I'm going to do in this particular video, one would think, is just glue these in place. Try to lean this a little bit forward maybe. Alright, this is a lot of surface area here to get glue on. That's fine. And again, I'm going to end up taking whatever's on the top here and brushing it off on the sides here because these are going to be in contact with the fin as well. And the ends here are not. It's not really a problem to have glue past them. On this part, it might end up getting a little bit smeared as I move. so that wouldn't be the world's worst thing either. There's a burr in there. I did not remove that burr, and it doesn't really feel like it would be worth the time, honestly, because, among other things, it would be hard to get in there. But even if it weren't, there's not really much point in removing it, because I'm going to have to fill in this connection point anyway with wood fill or something to that effect. So having a little burr in there makes basically no difference. Alright, so that's plenty of glue. I thought about doing this a second layer. I think this will be alright. Usually I only really do the second layer when I'm joining it to a fin like this and there's not all that much surface area and it has to do a pretty major job. This has a good amount of surface area, so I'm not terribly concerned. The only thing I really do want to be concerned is that this is the R fin where I wrote the little R, because if I did that wrong, boy would that be dumb. Okay, right, so I'm going to just push down, just hold this for a good 30 seconds or so, and then I will check for alignment. Now, the alignment should be pretty good, one would hope. I'm really looking to make sure that the back parts, these guys, are parallel with this part right here, so this part right here, the main fin. If that's good, then I will be pleased and not really need to worry about too much else. Alright, so let's take a look. It is not. Doesn't look too straight. That's okay. I'm going to kind of rotate it to try to get it perpendicular, or parallel, well, these parallel. And I'm just looking straight down the fins at each other. That looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to let this just kind of rest. Well, it's going to be a little bit tricky for it to rest, and I do want it to be, well, I could rest it like this, I guess. That should be alright. I can see, now that I'm looking at it, there is a bit of a gap. That's a bit of a problem. I'm going to not let it rest a little bit more. I'm going to push it back down. This is all going to get a second fillet later anyway, but I do want it to be, I don't want a giant gap there. That would be bad. We don't need that. Just like, it looked like it kind of, maybe when I adjusted it, it rotated a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's still, it doesn't look as good as I would like it to. Alright, that looks better. The gap is still, it's not non-existent. I have a feeling that the gap might be because maybe one of the fins is slightly warped. I might not have sanded. Oh, I didn't sand that at all, I don't think. So, I'm not really sure where that's coming from. I guess I would rather have the fins straight, because I can always, I'm going to have to fillet this anyway. So, yeah, alright. Let's hope the other one goes a little bit better. Well, I should probably let this sit a little bit, but how about this? I will hold it while I put the glue on this side. I'll try to use a little bit more glue this time. That felt was a little scant, especially what I ended up brushing with my dowel over on the other side. Actually, in looking at this, I wonder if part of the problem is there was a little burr. There was a little burr right in this front bit. So I suppose it's possible that I might have been trying to attach the fins where there was a burr. So that could be potentially a problem. At least make it so that the joint wasn't as flush as it could have been. But it shouldn't really be a big deal. There we go. Let's slap the other fin on, making sure that we've got, I mean, it can't really go upside down anymore, one would think. Right. holding it in place for the glue to set. Then we'll worry about alignment, and I should be able to just let it dry upside down like this. Hopefully that won't mess with anything. I don't think it would. I would kind of rather have it like this, but I don't think that's, well, I could put it in the cradle upside down. That's an option. Yeah, we could try that, but it's probably better off drying vertically like this anyway. Alright, that's probably enough time for the left fin to set up. Let's check alignment again. This one is off by a little bit too. That looks better. I don't see a noticeable gap that time, but I didn't notice a gap on the other one until I had already put it down. Alright, checking again on this one. I might have jostled it a little bit. I think I did. And this guy, just one more check. Alright, looks pretty good. So I am going to allow it to rest like this. And that does it for pretty much all the construction. I do need to put fillets on a variety of places. So once the glue sets here and here, they're going to get fillets. I do need to, I haven't yet, put fillets on these joints as well. And one last bit. The instructions say that I should be using plastic cement to create a fillet between the fin and and right here. So like in this part right here, right in that crack. That is a good amount of empty space to fill in. I certainly agree that we should probably fillet it. I'm not really sure that plastic cement is the material that I really want to use. Partially because it's not, well, it'll damage the plastic here. I mean, that's literally what it does. So I don't feel too great about that. I certainly don't want to use CA glue because that would, I couldn't make a fillet. I couldn't spread it because I just end up gluing my finger to stuff. So I might just end up using, I mean, I'm not try it with plastic cement, but I think I might as well, I might end up just using this stuff. Yeah, it's not going to bond particularly well to the plastic, but I'm not really terribly interested in the strength of the joint right here because I've got all this space that's bound pretty well and I've got a bunch of different fillets on it, so I'm hoping that's pretty strong. I'm more interested in the aerodynamics, so this might actually be a better choice. In looking at it too, the gap on this one is significantly larger than the gap on this side. I'm not sure why that is. It might be that I didn't shape this all that well. One of them, but not the other. But plastic cement. Also, I am not going to put a fillet in here. I don't want to run the risk, you know, on this side right here, I don't want to run the risk of getting a blob of anything in the way of my launch lug. That might make it very difficult to fly, and we certainly don't want that. So I'm probably just going to fillet the top, the up side of the rocket on this side, and maybe the down side here, but just on the right fin, the side that doesn't have the launch lug. Alright, so that'll happen off camera, and then I guess it's time to start working on finishing, so that'll be time consuming for this. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.